Welcome to part 2 of the course Philosophy of Science. My name is Michael Vlerik, and just like Hans Doremalen, who's coordinating this course and who taught the first part of this course, I am a philosopher of science. I'm also very interested in psychology, in particular in cognitive and evolutionary psychology and in social psychology. More information about my work, about my interests, my teaching, you'll find on my websites, and I'll also provide you with my email address. So what is part 2 of this course about? Well, in the first part, you had a historical, or you received a historical overview of what major philosophers had to say about science, about knowledge first, and then about science, thinking about what makes science science, what the essence of science is. And in this part, we'll also reflect on that important question, what is science? But we'll do it from a different perspective. We'll start with human reasoning, and we'll see that human reasoning isn't always reliable. We'll ask ourselves why human reasoning isn't always reliable, why sometimes we're predictably irrational. We'll see how we can improve our own thinking, and we'll also reflect on what aspects of the scientific methodology and the scientific context make scientific theories reliable. So concretely, in our first lecture, the first lecture of part 2, the 9th lecture in this total lecture series, we'll have a number. First of all, I'll introduce you to critical thinking, and then I'll present you with a number of riddles, questions, conundrums, if you will, in which we'll discover that our thinking can be predictably irrational. In the second lecture, we'll see why that is the case. We'll see why we are irrational in certain contexts. And then there's also a tutorial 4, in which you'll practice with all of this knowledge and the knowledge of the different biases, the different reasoning errors we make, and you'll start detecting reasoning errors in cases. After that, we'll see what reasoning errors can lead to. We'll look at irrationality in action. We'll look at so-called domains of irrationality. And then we'll address the million-dollar question, how we can guard our thinking against reasoning errors, how we can improve our own thinking. And then finally, we'll think about the importance of critical thinking, the importance of rationality, and we'll connect back with thinking about science, the scientific method, and we'll see how the scientific method, the demarcation criterion, all concepts you've already covered in the first part, how they can protect our theories against reasoning errors, how they can make our thinking or theories more reliable, and we'll also say something about why that is important. And then finally, there's an extra lecture on the schedule in which I'll prepare you for the exam, and this will be a live session. As for course material, well, just like for the first part, well, all lectures will be recorded, and links to these recordings, YouTube links, will be posted on Canvas. I'll also post the slides that I use in these lectures on Canvas, and I'll post complete transcripts of the content of these lectures, so texts on Canvas. And this should provide you with everything you need to study this part of the course autonomously. But obviously you will be assisted, and we'll have several live sessions. We'll have 3 Q&A sessions on parts of, or on 2 lectures each time. And then finally, as I already said, we'll have an extra live session on with a goal to prepare you for the exam, and in which you'll also be able to ask questions about the content of the whole of part 2 of the course. So our first Q&A will take place on the 25th of November at 4:45 p.m. And which will cover the content of lecture 9 and 10 and tutorial 4. Then we'll have another Q&A session on the 2nd of December on lectures 11 and 12, and another one on the 9th of December on lectures 13 and 14. So do come prepared to these meetings. If you haven't gone over the content of these lectures, well, there's not much use attending these meetings. So I strongly encourage you to take a look at the clips and perhaps also the text before attending these meetings, and then we'll be able to clarify anything that might not be clear. That's it for my very short introduction to this part of the course. I look very much forward to meeting you virtually, and I look very much forward to teaching this course. It is very much connected with what I'm researching about, so I'm very passionate about this content, and I hope you will be too. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.